You think I'm funny? What's that supposed to mean? I'm funny like I'm a clown to you? I amuse you? I make you laugh? Well, good, because this is Classic Bash. Hello, I'm R.L. King, and welcome to Classic Bash. Now, it takes a good writer to make you care about a good person. It takes a great writer to make you care about a bad person. Too bad they didn't find one in today's subject, GoodFellas. But there's more on that in the backstory corner. Now, you can't talk about GoodFellas without talking about Martin Scorsese. Scorsese is one of those directors that all directors wish they could be. To this date, I have never seen a truly bad Scorsese film. Note, he's acted in a couple awful ones, but none that he's directed. GoodFellas is based on Nicholas Pileggi's book, Wise Guy, which follows the story of real-life mobster Henry Hill. They changed the name of the movie to GoodFellas because Wise Guy had been taken by a comedy series. And trust me, a comedy this ain't. This film went on to be nominated for 6 Academy Awards, but only winning Joe Pesci's nomination for Best Supporting Actor. It also received overwhelmingly positive reviews and is now a staple for all heavy drinkers in New York to watch. Now everyone, GoodFellas. Just to make sure everyone knows, they put it right at the beginning that this is a true story. This is actually code for... We see our 3 poster characters, played by Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci, when they hear a noise going on with their car. They open their trunk to find... Ah! Holy... And you're stabbing him with the... Oh, right. Based on a true story. Duh. Alright, you guys may be thinking this is overkill, but take it from someone who knows. Stabbing someone in the heart 12 times just doesn't feel as good as when you watch them die from the hands of Precious.
I know I'd go from rags to riches if you would only say...
We see Henry talk about how he always wanted to be a mobster, even getting a job at a pizza place owned by mobsters. What could possibly go wrong? Well, it turns out that Henry started working for the mob full-time, even skipping school. It goes well. After receiving the beating from his father, the Mafia grabs the mailman who delivered the message about Henry skipping school. It was that day I learned how our special pizza sauce was made. After Henry does some good old American property damage, he meets Jimmy Conway at a party. Jimmy introduces him to Tommy DeVito and they start selling stolen cigarettes before Henry gets arrested. However, he goes free, proving that nothing brings family together like almost going to prison. Family being a metaphor for the freaking mob! In fact, they introduced you to a lot of the family, but they forgot a couple, so I made a list to finish it off.
Anthony Stabile,
Edward Scissorhands,
Frankie Carbone,
Curly Joe,
and then there was Mo Black's brother, Fat Andy,
Tommy Two-Tone,
and his guys, Frankie the Wop, Freddie No Nose,
Gandalf the Grey, he's one of the oldest members,
Pete the Killer, who was Sally Balls' brother,
Jabba the Hutt,
Mikey Francesi,
and Ludacris. But Ludacris is in everything nowadays. Henry and Jimmy discuss their plans to pull off their famous Air France robbery, before Tommy starts telling a funny story.
Funny how? Funny how? It's me, I'm a little fucked up maybe, but I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Actually more like a stooge. Tommy is then told he owes $7 grand to the bar they're in. He acts like any rational person would. Unfortunately, as the owner is now out $7,000, he goes to the mob boss and offers him a partnership to keep Tommy from messing with him anymore. This goes about as well as you'd expect. Henry is dragged into a double date for Tommy, but it turns out to be a bust, so much so that he stands her up on the second date. Not one to take this lightly, she comes out to fight Henry. However, apparently female balls turn Henry on, because he immediately tells her that he'll make it up to her and takes her to Copacabana. With his connections, he naturally sweeps his way in there with no issue. Hey look, I think that's Gandalf the Grey. After they finish the Air France robbery, he takes Karen on vacation where they meet...
Hey, Karen.
Whoa, Captain Short Shorts! Turns out he's Karen's neighbor, but they go back to their dating.
I didn't think there was anything strange in any of this, you know.
Hold it. What did she just say?
I didn't think there was anything strange in any of this.
In other words...
You are an idiot!
A few days later, Henry is called up by Karen and told that Captain Short Short started feeling her up. He takes her home, but quickly does what all good men should do and defend their girlfriend. Okay, you may think he went a bit overboard, but trust me when I say this, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, last time me and Precious went to go defend our girlfriend, he didn't come back alive. Mostly because he moved to Florida and hasn't come back since. Also, I love how his friends just stand there. Someone's getting unfriended on Facebook. Or shot. So it turns out Karen gets all hot and bothered by guys who break the law for a living and they get married.
Paulie and his brothers had lots of sons and nephews. And almost all of them were named Peter or Paul.
Hey, I was born in Arkansas. My family tree's a lot harder to figure out than that. I mean, there's my brother, cousin Joe, my grandma, Aunt Paula, my sister, niece Billy Joe, and then there's my uncle, daddy Frank, and my mom. At a party, Billy Bats began to make fun of Tommy for being a shoe-shine boy when he was younger. Tommy, having a severe case of little man's disease, takes it way too personal and beats him senseless. After a visit to their mom, you know, the same place you always go when you kill somebody. However, we find out that Billy was apparently too high up to kill on a whim.
Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
After Henry cheats on his wife, they find out that people are searching for Billy everywhere. To add another screw to this pooch, Jimmy tells Henry that they're going to build a condo on top of where they buried Billy, so they have to move the corpse that has been buried for a good 6 months. Alas, poor Billy, I kicked his face in well. While playing a card game, Tommy begins to mess with Spider.
We only do one.
The Oklahoma Kid.
Shane?
Oklahoma Kid. Shane. Oklahoma Kid. That's me. I'm the Oklahoma Kid. You fucking barnacle. States. Yahoo, you motherfucker.
Hey, I'm the one that gets to make obscure references here, and if you're gonna do it right!
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
Ew. Apparently not. At the next card game, Spider tells Tommy,
why don't you go fuck yourself, Tommy?
well, I think that seems pretty fair. I mean, he did shoot Spider in the foot and Jesus! I'm cool. Karen finds out that Henry's been cheating on her and proceeds to call her out on it before Jesus! I said I'm cool. Henry manages to smooth talk his way out of it like any gentleman would, and then turns and aims the gun at her. Like any gentleman would. Jimmy and Polly eventually convince Henry to stay with Karen, but they go beat up a guy whose sister works for the FBI, and they go to jail. If you can call it jail, they spend most of their time eating pasta and playing cards while Henry secretly sells drugs. However, when he gets out of prison, Polly warns him not to get mixed up in a drug ring, which goes totally ignored. Several of the mob members are rounded up to perform the infamous Lufthansa heist, but not before a little sad girl action. However, after pulling the heist, many people make stupid decisions. One guy forgets to get rid of the gun, so they shoot him. One guy doesn't stop asking for his money, bada bing, dead. Guy buys an expensive car with the money so soon that he could be caught, baboosh, gone. Guy buys a mink coat for his wife, he's sleeping with the fishes. Somebody, well, I'm not too sure what this guy did, but he's iced. Sorry, watching this movie kind of turns me into an offensive stereotype.
It's me, Mario!
Not offensive. Anyway, Tommy gets a message saying that he's going to be made, which sounds like he's going into a Broadway musical, but it actually means he's going to become a mafia elite. However, this is all a ruse set up to kill him for killing Billy Bats earlier. As the final nail in his coffin, Henry's drug abuse begins to make him a paranoid insomniac. Henry finally gets caught by narcotic agents and arrested, but manages to pull bail. Jimmy then asks Henry to go whack a guy in Florida. However, Henry's never been asked to whack a guy before, so he knows that the hit is actually on him. Wait, what? What? You mean to tell me that Jimmy wants one of his best friends and most trusted confidants dead because he's a little paranoid? That doesn't make any sense! Just because it happened in real life doesn't mean it has to make sense! It doesn't make any sense! He gets Polly and Jimmy arrested before enrolling in the witness protection program where he has to live as an everyday schnook. So that was GoodFellas. How does it stand up? Well, when I first saw this, I thought it was truly a great crime drama and one of the best films I've ever seen. It explores the criminal mind in a way that you don't commonly see, and it makes sure to mention all details, even the little ones, to keep the plot seamless. The acting is all top-notch, especially from Joe Pesci and Ray Liotta. However, then I watched it again, and then I noticed it had a few problems. For instance, Joe Pesci does a great job in this role, but I never find him threatening. He comes across more as this whiny child who's always trying to be threatening, but never quite accomplishes it. And is it too much to ask for one character I can like? All the guys are base instinct-driven killers, and all the women are shallow and moronic. The story wants to focus on Henry Hill, but he doesn't ever do anything. He spends 2/3 of the film just being there while stuff happens around him. And then there's that plot point at the end that still bugs the ever-motherfucker out of me. However, this is honestly one movie that I recommend everybody see at least once, just because it is so iconic and timeless, but also because my review can't cover it all. There's so many things that go into it that can't be done justice in just a comedic summary. It's a very well-produced film with excellent acting and an alright story. But for the sake of comedy, it's a frisbee. Whee! Well, that's 2 films successfully made fun of. I wonder what I should do next. Oh, hold on a second. Let's see. Hello? What? The entire state of New York wants my head on a platter? Let's test that a bit, shall we? Next week's The Godfather. Yeah, they're probably gonna kill me eventually, but who cares, really? Aurel, I cannot wait until you taste my blade. It will be a most glorious victory, the likes of which you have not seen. But sir, you know you can't kill him with such conventional methods as a blade. Then find out how I can.